Hey, DNA Strand crew, TJ here with the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast. Today we're going to be bringing you our rookie running back film session, part 2. It's going to be really interesting. There are going to be a lot of good guys here to go over. Can't wait. Join us, won't you?
Welcome to the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, where we talk Dynasty Fantasy Football, fantasy rankings, and everything NFL. Join us and dominate your Dynasty league. It's in your DNA. And here's your host, TJ Blake.
Welcome back, DNA Strand crew. Yes, I'm the host of the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, TJ Blake. You can find me on Twitter at TJ Blake DNA. And as always, we're joined by our show architect and co-host, the A-Train Andy Blake. You can find him on Twitter at A-Train DNA. How you doing today, Ann?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing good. And next in the line of order, we got Ty Blake, co-host and producer. You can find him on Twitter at Dynasty DNA Ty. What's going on, Ty?
Not much going on, guys.
Not much. And last but not least, it's the guy that has the goods on all these guys. He has all the dig-ups, more than TMZ. It's Muscles Ryan Mail. You can find him on Twitter at Dynasty DNA Mus. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. What's happening?
Not much. Well, today we're going to be doing part 2 of our rookie running back film session review. There's going to be some big names on it on this list. Tank Bigsby, people like that. You know, we didn't include in the last show, Zach Evans. A couple gems that we like that might be a little bit later. But before we get into any of it, we're going over the breaking news with Mus.
All right, we got CEH activated from the IR for the Super Bowl, so we might see.
Everyone get your giant straw back in because we're all going to get sucked back in.
Yep. He'll score 2 touchdowns, and everybody will be right back on the bandwagon.
That's it.
Kadarius Toney said he's going to play during the Super Bowl, so
see
how long.
Magically, the hamstring's better.
Yep. Yeah. Daniel Jones is going to command about $35 million a year.
Speaking of Daniel Jones, thanks for sending that card, brother.
Y'all tuned in?
I knew he was watching.
If you all tuned in last week, Andy did get his card, and he's in a better mood. He's laughing already.
Yeah. Steve Wilkes lands San Fran's defensive coordinator job. He was an intern head coach with the Panthers.
And he did a nice job for the Panthers on an intern basis. I mean, he stepped in there. It seems like he's a good leader, man. It kind of seems like a similar move to D'Amico Ryans. Like, they kind of have similar philosophies to me. So that's a good. I think it was a good pickup.
Tim Kelly lands Tennessee's offensive coordinator job. He was with Houston.
Oh, wow. Don't sound too good.
Yeah.
We're really digging it down the barrel, huh?
Yeah, I would say. AJ Green retired. That's a legend.
Yeah.
AJ effing Green. I love that guy, man.
Yep.
Even though he was a Bengal, that guy was a beast.
I know.
It was good. I just seen actually one of the replays where, was it against Baltimore? It was tipped, and then he caught it.
Yeah, I was playing J-Mac in the fantasy that week, and I had AJ Green, and I beat him on that play.
Was that the playoffs, I think? Or was it it was close around that time?
It was close around that
I remember
time.
he was so pissed.
Yeah. And then you had was it Dalton was quarterback at the time?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
So we were cheering, and he was crying. Tom Brady, this was kind of interesting. Tom Brady won't join the booth in 2023. He's joining it in 2024.
I seen something about that.
I mean, the guy's played football and been around football forever. Maybe he just needs the year to,
Or maybe he needs to come back to the NFL.
That's what I was thinking.
Hey, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Did you guys see the sand, the people selling the sand?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were selling that for big dollars.
That's why I take break in my car.
You see some random celebrity go to the porta potty.
Yeah. Brock Purdy leaning against Tommy John surgery, so I don't know what the alternative is there.
That's just such a shame for a young player that showed a lot of promise.
At least it's not as like it used to be. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Tommy John, especially with baseball, you were like done.
Yeah.
That was it. You're right. Yeah.
Miami is not interested at all in keeping Mike Gesicki.
They shouldn't be. They don't use them.
They don't even use them.
Yeah. As we needed any more hate towards Russell Wilson, did you guys see it was all Russell Wilson's idea to have the flag football game?
Oh, boy.
No.
He called Roger Goodell after last Pro Bowl and was like, you know what we ought to do? Have a flag football game.
Wow.
Wow.
That guy's such a douchebag.
Did you guys hear that? I don't know if it's rumored or it's true that he has like his own coach for like being a quarterback.
Yeah,
Sean Payton came in and said like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
See,
That's
that's what he said.
So
about
you guys heard that?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I love about Sean Payton. That's why I said I knew he fixed the mess. Because number one, he's good.
Yeah.
But number two, he just does it the way he wants to do it. And if you
Right.
don't want to, then too bad.
Wonder if he did that in Seattle too, or it was like a Hackett thing where he didn't trust Hackett. Like,
Yeah, that I don't know.
It's tough to say. That
Yeah.
guy is such a douchebag.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't like him. But all right, so going on, should we go to the Pro Bowl?
Oh, I know Ty's
I wonder
itching.
how Tyler
Oh, yeah.
Huntley did.
Oh boy, he was cooking out there.
Did anybody watch it?
No.
No, I seen a highlight though where I think Stephon Diggs got picked off by Trayvon.
I saw Stephon Diggs looking up the cheerleader skirts.
Yeah,
or
he was
something.
behind the cheerleaders.
yeah.
And, what a disaster.
Trying to pull another flag, huh?
And then you had, what's his face, getting jacked up there, Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill.
Hill,
Oh,
by,
yeah.
by Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen
Yeah.
Ramsey. Yeah.
And then that got a little bit testy.
All
And then-
this skirt talk, I thought you were going to say jacked off.
Yeah, he's like behind the cheerleaders. Like,
Yeah, you didn't see that.
No.
Oh, my.
No, that wasn't in my highlight reel.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley was like 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. When he's doing that, what a shit show that is.
Snoop.
Beep.
boy, he'll get a starting gig next year.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't watch it. I don't even know what happened.
No one did.
But I guess on to the Super Bowl. We still sticking with our Super Bowl predictions. I still got the Eagles, I think.
You got the Eagles?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're just the more complete team. I mean, I think last
agree.
show I might have said it was going to be a blowout. I don't think it's probably going to be a blowout. I see 2 possessions, but I just like I said, the Eagles are just too complete for me.
I'm hoping for a good game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should stay with my pick or what should I kibosh T-Pain and go the other way, with the Eagles. It's worked for him. It's worked with him, me picking against him. I'll do it for him. I'm going to stay with the Chiefs, and that's for you, T-Pain, because the Eagles will probably win.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs, I'm going to stick with them.
I'm sticking with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Okay.
I think it's a good game. I just feel like if it's close, they just always find a way to win. Like,
Yeah.
And it's the experience factor.
Yeah.
I always say whoever's got the better quarterback, and I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts, but Patrick Mahomes has played a lot of big game football.
yeah.
And, I just think they got the edge there. And Andy Reid, is a genius.
Yeah.
And the guy's a great coach.
I'll tell you what's crazy. I seen rumors that their offensive coordinator, I cannot think of his name.
Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Bieniemy might be interested in going to Washington.
Oh, really?
That kind of shows how bad they must want him out of KC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because if say they win the Super Bowl and then they let him go, that's crazy in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's working, why would you change it?
But you always see Andy Reid over there with the clipboard. So how much is it Bieniemy? How much is
Right.
it Reid?
Yeah.
And
Right.
Bieniemy might be thinking, is he hurting my chances to get a head coaching gig? Because people might be saying, is he calling these plays or the majority of them?
Yeah, we've heard before. Remember, Juju was talking about how much he's learned offense under Andy Reid. He didn't say Eric Bieniemy. He said Andy Reid. So.
Yeah.
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 Did you guys know Nick Sirianni used to be like an assistant coach at
Oh,
IUP?
that guy's a douche.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I did hear
Wait,
that.
IUP?
Yeah.
IUP, yeah.
Wow, he's a douche though.
You don't like him?
No.
He fits Philly.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
fits.
He fits Philly. Sorry, T-Pain. He's just kind of a smart ass.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Cocky. He is a good coach, though.
Yeah,
I'll give him
yeah.
Oh,
that.
he is. Yeah.
He stepped right in there and took control of it.
No, I didn't know that. I actually saw that this week. I didn't know that.
I didn't know
I
that.
thought that was kind of cool.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
that's all I got for the breaking news.
All right. Well, like you said, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's hard to believe that the season's going to be over after this weekend.
Oh, I know.
It just comes and goes so fast. But we turn one page, we go to another, and that's why we're reviewing these rookie running backs. The NFL draft will be coming up soon.
Yeah.
Of course, the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl happened. Boy, both games. What a letdown.
Yeah.
What a
It's hard
disaster.
to watch.
I was thinking about trying to do a Senior Bowl episode.
There's really not much to talk about.
No.
It was horrible. The quarterback play was horrible. I think the Shrine Bowl was like 3-6.
Yeah,
or something like
I
that.
think the Michigan kicker was the MVP of that game.
Wow.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, that's terrible. But it's such a shame you didn't get to see some of these guys in action like you would have wanted to. But them events are over. Now the Combine's next.
And I'm disappointed Will Levis did not go. Like, he's a quarterback, so, like, his chances of getting hurt are real slim. Like, he's probably going to be a top pick, but could he have been the number one guy if he went there and showed out? And look at the competition he had to go against. It wasn't much.
Right.
No.
Right.
So he should have went there and tore it up. So why didn't he? That's a red flag for me.
Yeah,
I got to watch them yet, but that's a red flag.
that worries me too when players back out.
Justin Herbert went.
Yeah.
You know,
Kenny Pickett went.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett went.
Malik Willis even went.
Jalen Hurts, I think, was there as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just lackluster quarterback play. Both games were horrible. It's hard to really see anything in them games with these players. It was just so bad.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. But the next big event's the Combine. I think it's like March 2nd. I think that's when it starts, right around that time period. So we'll have to watch for that. But here we go, fellas. This is the second week of our running back film review for these rookies. We're going to hop in here. And we each got two guys we're going to start out with. We're all going to chime in on them and some of the stuff we've seen. But we're going to start over here to the right with the A-Train. And we're going to start with his first one to go over. Deuce Vaughn, running back, Kansas State, 5'6", 175 pounds. This guy is a jitterbug. I'm anxious to see what you think of Deuce Vaughn, Em. What'd you see?
He's really fun to watch. Like, I really enjoyed his film. He is only 5'6", 176 pounds. He's a super small guy. But I thought he was kind of tough for how small he was. Really surprised me there. The bad thing, I think he's real landing spot dependent. He's probably, let's face it, he's probably a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and he's going to have to be utilized in a special way. He reminds me just of Darren Sproles. Like,
Yeah, that's
he's a carbon copy of
Yeah.
Darren Sproles.
And what's odd, I'm like 90% sure he went to Kansas State too.
Yeah, yep. I'm like 90% sure he did too. So it's kind of cool to see that. He has really good vision. He made some nice cutbacks that I seen. I thought that looked really good with his vision. He's athletic, real bursty. I think that's how he breaks tackles. It's just he's so bursty, like this bam, hits the line. It's not, for him to run over a linebacker here and there. I don't know how much he's going to do that in the NFL. People are a little bigger, a little stronger. But still, I mean, some of the competition he played, number 3, TCU, 26 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown.
Right.
Number 5, Alabama, 22 attempts, 133 yards, and a touchdown. So, I mean, he's playing top-tier competition and doing well. I mean, maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe his capital will be higher than a 4th-round pick. I just don't see it. But currently I have him ranked 11th out of, I think I have 16 running backs. So just kind of right in the middle. Super fun to watch. And if he wasn't 5'6", 170 pounds, I think he's a top 5 back in the class.
He's got all the tools.
Yeah, he does. He's got good hands. Everything. That's the only thing I could really knock him on was just his size. He got a 4 out of 10 off my scale. So
Yeah, and that's just it is a little bit of a worry with NFL teams. I think, like, I'm with you, the draft capital is important. Mm-hmm. I think if he goes higher, it's going to have to go to one of them teams that's going to specially use him.
yeah, what if he went to, like, San Fran?
Yeah.
Right.
Or, I mean, what if he went back to Philly? Like, what if he would be like Darren Sproles went to Philly and he just had that role? Like,
or if like he went to a place like that had a ground and pound back.
right, like a Derrick Henry and then him.
Yeah.
Like, that might work.
Even Najee and him.
Yeah.
Devontae Williams and him.
I think his best case scenario is kind of playing like a Jerick McKinnon role.
Yeah, that would be great. What if he went to the Chiefs?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where he could probably be the best at.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I do really like the guy. Probably a 3rd-round pick in your rookie drafts. And I'm definitely willing to take him there.
Yeah.
Like, I think the upside's there, but will he ever be a consistent top back? Even, I mean, he probably has years of running back 2 here and there. But you just hope he can stay in the league, hope he finds a good home. And that's pretty much it that I have on Deuce Vaughn. Like I said, fun to watch, but probably not super fantasy relevant.
Yeah, and that's just it, man. But, he's the kind of guy, if he goes to the right situation, he'd be on your bench. And you could plug and play him for probably a long time if it works out.
Right.
So I would really easily risk, like, a player with that big play potential, with the speed.
Right.
If he can translate with his size, maybe put on a few pounds.
Yeah.
And gets the capital, I would more than happily spend a 3rd on him because he is a big play waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I'm at 3rd. Like, I would get afraid if he went to, like, San Fran or KC, people start taking him mid-2nd. I think that's a little high.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and one other thing that I did kind of dock him on, I seen him get ran over a couple times in pass protection, just being so little.
Well, yeah,
He tries. I
Yeah,
noticed that
he
too.
tries. He got run over a couple times.
And the bad thing is that's in college. It's a completely different game in the NFL.
And if he's a third down back, you can't let that happen.
Right.
I mean, we're small guys, and we're about taller than him. He's only 5'6".
Yeah, 5'6", 176 pounds.
It's incredible what he's doing. But, hey, Darren Sproles made the jump. Maybe he can.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say this. You had him at 11. I had him at 9. So
Yeah.
that's just like kind of right in the middle. I agree with you on that. I mean, you guys have anything else to touch on with Deuce?
No, I just had that he's great hands, and I liked his patience, like you said.
Yeah.
And then just his size was.
Isn't he fun to watch, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's just a big play waiting to happen all the time.
Right.
Yep.
He is. He is,
dude,
man.
Darren Sproles is who I thought of.
Yep,
too, so.
that's exactly my comp to him.
Yep. If it all works out, that could be a nice player to get in the third round.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump over to me now, and it's going to be Israel Abanikanda, running back, Pittsburgh Panthers. This guy, 5'11", 215 pounds. I'll tell you what, me and Andy were talking about him earlier. We were touching what we thought on him. It's really tough to tell because his offensive line was so good. I mean, they opened up some truck-size holes for this guy. And usually it's, you look at that and you're like, okay, well, he's just the benefit of good offensive line play. And I usually take that into heavy consideration. And I did a little bit here with him. I have him number 10 on my list. But the thing I really like about him is, like we talked earlier, right around 20 years old right now, still a young guy. Got a lot of time left, he's a really raw prospect, But the one thing I liked the most with Israel Abanikanda was when he got those holes, and this is a key, he knew how to use them. His vision is really good. He knows where to find the holes, find the openings, and then his speed is unreal. He is breakaway speed. When he gets out in the open 9 times out of 10, he's gone. And he played some really good games last year. I mean, he had 20 touchdowns last year. I mean, that's a boatload of touchdowns. I don't care at what any league you're playing in. That's important to me. And I look at these games. I go to the Virginia Tech game, which was a giant game for him. He rushed for like 300 yards and 6 touchdowns that game.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, hey, you know what? It's good offensive line play, and I understand that, but that's a boatload of yards and that's a boatload of touchdowns. So he knows where to go with the football. His pass catching's kind of average. I mean, he's not horrible at it, but he offers you a decent ability in that. I think he could get better. I think, like I said, he's just a real raw prospect.
Yeah.
But I really like the speed. I really like what I seen what he did last year. I mean, he ripped the ACC apart.
Yeah, 130 yards per game.
Yeah, and another thing to mention is, and we talked about this earlier, I take this into consideration a little bit. Pitt has put out some good running backs throughout the year. So, they have guys that are capable, but I really like this guy. I have him about 10th. If I could get him in the third round, I'd be really happy with it because, to me in the third round, that's where I like taking someone like this. Just a raw prospect, like someone that, has a pretty big ceiling, I think, all in all. I mean, I think he could have a fairly big ceiling.
Yeah, if you can get him in the third round, especially that he's shown that he can score touchdowns, that's big for getting a guy in the third round. I mean, look at like James Conner. He's not the best rushing guy, but he gets in the end zone and he gets some points.
Yeah.
Definitely does. Has a nose for the end zone. And, I mean, and the thing is he has some moves, too. I mean, he ain't like the most elusive runner I've ever seen, but he can put a move on someone here and there. Like I said, if I think he's coached up properly, if I think he lands in the right landing spot, I really like this guy. Like I said, third round, if he's there, I'd be really happy to take him. What did you guys think of him?
Yeah, I thought he was good in open space, and I liked his footwork, the line of scrimmage. Like you said, the big playability seemed like when he got a hole,
He was gone.
he was gone. I docked him in lateral agility. I didn't think he moved very good laterally, but 130 yards per game and the touchdowns were really nice.
Definitely. And against 2 ranked opponents last year, 21 UNC, he rushed for 26 yards, 26 attempts, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Then he went up against Tennessee. Well, that was a big one. Tennessee had a good team last year. 25 attempts, 154 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that to me, that's good. I mean, he showed out, and the ACC has some teams. They ain't as good as they usually are, but they still are solid. You got your Miamis, you got your people like that. They're usually respectable anyhow. But what did you think of, man?
I need to go back and watch him because I trust your opinion a lot, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it personally, but that's what's good. Like I trust your guys' opinion as well. I've seen a lot of huge holes, and he's real top end speed, but I didn't feel like he was real bursty. Like, I felt like once he got going, you weren't going to catch him, but he had to get going. There's a lot of times, maybe I was just in a bad mood because I would be watching. I'm like, oh, what do you see? He scored again. He wasn't even touched.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, he did his job, though. Like, you can't really dock the guy for doing his job. Again, like you, I thought his hands were kind of just average. Not bad. I mean, he made some nice catches. The burst, I really docked him on. I didn't really see a lot of athleticism out of him. I didn't really see the moves or any of the footwork stuff. But I do like his size at 5'11", 215, and being that fast. And being only 20 years old, I mean, the guy does have some upside.
Right.
If he goes to a good spot and a good line, I mean, you can always – the thing that's always said, speed kills, and it's true. So if he can just get his burst up a little bit, the vision's there. So
I saw him comp to Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it's just his age, too, man. I take that in consideration. I mean,
I think he should have stayed again.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he should have stayed one more year.
Yep.
Yep. I think he made the leap a little too early in a good running back class. But again, a third-round pick, a guy with that, them kind of numbers, I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, yeah. Because like you said, 320 yards, what, he had 30, Virginia Tech, 36, 320, 6 touchdowns.
That's video game stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And I mean,
But I did see a couple of them, like, he wasn't even touched. But still, I mean...
That's it. And that's what I said to you this morning. Like, like I chuckled whenever you said it to me, and it was like, I agree. Like, it's so hard to judge a player but I'm like, okay, did you take advantage of it? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you pull away from the defense, like you said, when you got going? Yeah, I mean, if he got into the open field, he was a ghost most of the times. I mean, he was hard to get. So I really like him. Like I said, third round, I'm okay with it. I mean, he's just not someone I'm out on. I mean, if I'm sitting in the middle of the third round, he's on the board, 20-year-old-ish back.
Yeah.
With a high ceiling like that, I'd take him with the stats and just give him a try. I'm okay.
Definitely.
It's just keeping it in perspective.
Right. I like I said, I got him ranked kind of low. I got him ranked 17 of 18.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to go back and watch the tape because I trust you guys. I mean.
Yep. I got him 10. I mean, it ain't like crazy high, but it's not crazy low either. Right about middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're going to jump over to Ty here with his first one, and it's going to be Roschon Johnson, running back, Texas Longhorns, the ex-quarterback, 6'2", 223 pounds. What do you think of Roschon, Ty? What'd you see in him?
Yeah, I made a little pros and cons list here, but I'm going to go on to the pros first. I thought, obviously, he's a big back who's a strong build, and being the backup at Texas, he hasn't had a lot of tread on the tires. So, I mean, he's not beat up too bad. His quickness and his vision are above average, in my opinion. And due to his size, he's not like a bullish runner. He's more of a finesse guy. Mm-hmm. And he uses hesitation really well. And when he sees the daylight, he's gonna break through the hole. Good build up speed, and he can deliver punishment due to his size. But like I said, he's just more of a finesse guy. But his ball security is really solid. He's only had one career fumble at the collegiate level, so that's really promising, especially for running backs anymore in the NFL. If you fumble the football, you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty good blocker, so he really works hard to stick with this guy, and he blocks as well as he can, and he's not bad at it. His cons, he needs a head of speed to run with power. He doesn't break too many tackles for a big guy, which is a little discouraging, but that's just not his game. He's more of a chunk gainer than a home run hitter. He hasn't integrated into the passing game except for his blitz pickup, and he played quarterback in the Wildcat a lot, and you did tell me that, so that was a little odd. And he only ever had 2 career passes, so I really don't know what was going on with that too much. But I'm not a very big Wildcat guy.
No.
And overall, I mean, he's a big running back, and he does take the finesse approach. He's based around quickness and vision, but doesn't run with quite as much power and grit as a typical given his size. He was overshadowed, obviously, by Bijan, but he's a solid back, and he can continue to work his way, in my opinion, as a rotation guy at the pro level. I think in fantasy-wise, he's a late second, early third-round pick.
Yeah, and that's pretty much hit it right on the head, Ty. I agree. And I really like what you said. He's a chunk runner. I really like that. That was a really good point. Because he did not have many splash plays.
Yeah.
You just didn't see it. And I'm like you with the Wildcat. I mean, it's just. I understand it's a college game, and then they are taking advantage of the fact of him being an ex-quarterback, trying to get him on the move like that. But I don't know. It just sucks that you didn't see a bigger sampling size, too.
Just in Bijan's shadow.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that'll hurt him, unfortunately, going into the NFL draft. I don't think he's going to get a high capital. I'd say probably 4th, 5th round. I mean, that's probably where I'm going to put him. I mean, you never know. I mean, he had an okay Senior Bowl practice, and he got hurt from what I understand. But I don't know. I just would have liked to seen a bigger sampling size, and I don't know if teams will be willing to take the risk, with not seeing that big sampling size, So he's kind of about middle of the pack for me in my rankings. He's not in my top 10. I have him probably, I'm going to guess, somewhere around 12 or 13. I didn't rank the lower half yet. But, he's just not a guy that I'm super interested in. I think he's going to probably not get a high capital. What do you guys think? About Roschon?
I really liked him. I have him 9th out of 16 for me. I loved his violent runner mentality.
Yeah.
I think that can translate really well. I'm like you. I thought he had really good vision and patience. There was a couple times where everything had to be perfect, and he made it happen. And you kind of seen that consistently in a low volume, and that's what I really liked about it too. I think he could handle a full workload, but I don't think I'm like you. I don't think his capital will be up there,
unfortunately.
I mean, and it looked like he was doing so well at the Senior Bowl. But I could also see a team, looking at his frame. I mean, 6'3", 223, being like, yeah, I want that dude.
Right.
It could definitely happen. So I just kind of want to see. I want the draft to play out, see how, everything goes with him. Because he can really do everything good. Nothing great besides the size and I again, his vision. But I comped him to Cedric Benson. I thought that he was just a real hard-nosed runner like Benson was when he was with Cincinnati and then Chicago as well. Yeah. So kind of a bigger dude like that and just strong. So
and he had decent hands. I put for being a bigger guy.
I gave him a 7 out of 10 on his hands. I thought he was average to above average.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might, like I said, he might be a decent enough prospect. What worries me is he going to get the opportunity?
Yeah.
Because, it's terrible to think this way, but people do. It's like, you weren't good enough to start, in college. And hopefully someone don't take that into consideration. And I'm not knocking them. It's just, you hate to see that. That could be an issue. And I unfortunately, I think it'll be 4th or 5th, like you said, and hopefully he goes to a good spot or maybe gets an opportunity.
Yeah.
If he can show out.
I would love to see him. If he went in the 3rd round, I think I'm more in the 4th round. I'm starting to kind of teeter. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and that's just it, man. And too, when the combine numbers come out, maybe he wrecks the combine. That's what you hope for anyhow, if he's healthy enough.
He broke his hand there, so I don't know how healthy or if he's competing in the combine. It just sucks because a guy like Roschon's where we wanted to see the Senior Bowl. We really wanted to see the combine. Then he breaks his freaking hand. It's like, damn, the opportunity that we were about to see.
And a guy that could have used the exposure too.
Because unfortunately, I think he's a really good player, but when you have a generational talent guy in front of you like Bijan,
yeah, and he's a guy that could have used the exposure.
Yeah, he needed it. He needed it.
And now, this could even make it worse on him. Hopefully he can do something at the combine level. Hopefully he can heal up.
Run and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to see him improve his stock a little bit,
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, with him, I think a big thing's wait and see where he goes, see what happens, see what the league thinks of him, where they value him at.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll be big. We're going to go over to Muss here. We're going to go Chase Brown, running back, Illinois, Fighting Illini, 5'11", 205 pounds. What do you have on Chase?
I had that he had good burst. I liked his burst. Start and stop ability. He'd stop on a dime, and then he would go pretty good for being, patience behind the line of scrimmage. He kind of stopped a little bit, but it's always seemed to work out for him. And then I really liked his pass catching. The knocks on him, I had size, and then I didn't really see any athleticism with him.
I didn't either. I like that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm glad you mentioned that. At least I feel better about it. But go ahead, keep going.
Hang on, I got to bring my notes up. I had, for some reason, Keaton Mitchell. I called him Myles Gaskin.
That's actually probably a good call.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll like my comp when it's me.
If he could go to a spot like Atlanta,
yeah,
I think in compliment Algier or something, but I don't know.
He just seems average to me.
Yeah, and his size, like he's probably a 4th round NFL pick.
That's what I'm thinking too. And honestly, like if you go back through them games with Chase Brown, and I don't know if you guys noticed this either, like he had a good season. Like I don't know if he finished the rushing leader in the nation, but he was up there for a while.
Yeah, he had a lot of attempts.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, you go through the teams. He played only one ranked team, which was Michigan.
Yep.
But he did have 29 attempts for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns against them. So I'm not knocking him too much there, but still, it's like the body of work that he did this year, the majority of it, seemed to come up against, lesser defenses. Mm-hmm. And it's like, boy, and I'm like you guys, he didn't jump off the charts to me athletically.
No.
And it just seemed like he's just a guy that, gets, on a good day, maybe 4, 5, 6 yards here and there and just keeps churning it out like that.
Yeah.
But just no big-time home run hitter ability and an okay pass catcher. But, I mean, what did you guys think of him? I mean, you guys chime in on that?
Yeah, I thought he was a really hard runner. I was so excited about him, honestly. And then, I did like some of his tape, but I kind of didn't really see the pass catching. I seen a lot of body catches, I felt like. He didn't really do anything to stand out, like you were saying, like athletically. He just did his job and did a good job. I mean, kind of like Abanikanda. Like, if it's there, he's going to hit it, and he's going to hit it hard.
Yeah, and if it's not, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. He's not doing anything to try to, make something happen. And in today's NFL, you need to be able to do the extra things. I don't see him really going before the 4th round.
No.
So he's probably a handcuff guy. At the Senior Bowl, he really struggled. I guess, I think his brother actually hit him and he fumbled the ball. He really, really struggled from what I was hearing. So that isn't really good for him. So he was somebody that actually I figured at Senior Bowl would be one of the better players.
Yeah.
Being that he had so many attempts and so many yards, and I think he was up there in touchdowns as well. So
yeah, I saw him mocked in fantasy drafts in the 4th, or like an early 4th is what they're projecting him to go. 1 quarterback leagues.
My comp's Bishop Sankey.
I like it. I like that a lot.
Just a guy, and then Bishop Sankey. I think he's probably in the Canadian League. He's in the XFL. He's in all them different leagues.
The stanky leg.
Yeah. That's what I seen. A lot of Bishop Sankey, just a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be landing spot dependent with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it, man. And does he get the capital? I'm like you guys, I don't think he does. I think he's just an average runner at best. I mean, and it is what it is. I mean, like you said, he does his job and he does it well. We'll see what happens, but we're going to go over to a guy that I know a lot of us are high on, and I'm excited about it. And it's going to be, to end here, Tyjae Spears, running back, Tulane Green Wave, 5'10", 195 pounds. I'll let you take it.
I absolutely love Tyjae Spears. I mean, everything I went through and seen, I absolutely love the guy. He's 3rd in my ranks, right behind Gibbs now. And I'm kind of believing that he does get the capital. I kind of think he might even be, a mid-day 2 guy.
Yeah.
Maybe in the middle of the 2nd round. He never averaged less than 6 yards a carry his whole career, but this is what worries me. He's damaged goods. I mean, his ACL injury in 2020, he actually was saying that he didn't know if he would ever come back from it. It really messed him up from what I was reading. Looks like he's covered in slime, doesn't it? A lot of the times, people just can't get their hands on the guy. He's really fun to watch. Has a nice shake to him. Had really good patience. For 195 pounds, I thought he had some good power.
Yeah, he did for his size.
Yeah, I absolutely loved his vision. Thought he was super athletic. He made plays happen a lot of times when, nothing was there. Actually, his vision was one of the better ones the class gave him 9 out of 10. So that was some stuff that I seen. He's a really smart guy. Already graduated in December. So
okay.
So he's not, not stupid.
No.
So I just, but to me, when I see somebody graduate early like that, it shows like they have dedication.
Yep.
Right.
So he's really dedicated to school, obviously dedicated to football. And I seen an interview at the Senior Bowl, and he calls himself a 4-down back, not a 3-down back. Because a lot of people are saying he's
he's going to go to Kansas City.
Huh?
with the 5 downs.
With the 5 downs. Yeah, I like that. But I thought that was kind of cool for him to, come out and say that. Just he had a little bit of a fumbling issue, but that can easily be cleaned up. Let's see. I feel like this is something that I mentioned in my notes. If he had the Alabama logo on, I think he's a first-round pick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Georgia, Alabama. You got them certain logos.
Yeah.
Like
He's probably like the most dynamic, like dual threat back.
Yeah.
Like,
I
honestly,
think so too.
like
I mean, I thought his hands were great. Like I kept going through. It was like 7.5, 8, 8.5. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, like his upside's there.
Yeah, the upside's definitely there. And he really showed out in some of the games. USF, 151 and 2 touchdowns. I know it's USF, but you look at his long run. He had a 75-yard run, so he shows he has a home run hitting ability. UCF, they were ranked 22. 8 for 130, so that's averaging 16.3 yards a carry. So, and he didn't have a touchdown there. Cincinnati, they were ranked 24. 35 for 181, 2 touchdowns. But then you go to the UCF game, which is the championship game, 22 for 199 and a touchdown. And then USC was ranked 10th, 17 for 205 and 4 touchdowns. So
he is doing it against good competition.
yeah, he's doing it against good competition. And being in that bowl game, I mean, he basically won him the game.
He carried the team.
Yeah, so that shows that like he's not afraid to carry the team. You can rely on the guy. And easily this fumbling issue, I think, can be fixed. And I don't think it's nothing to be like way too concerned about. Everybody has their flaws. And a player I comped him to was actually Tiki Barber. I don't know if you guys remember Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
I seen a lot of Tiki Barber in him, so
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys feel about him. Seems like you like him as well. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Curious to hear.
I don't think he'll be a workhorse, but I think he'll be one of them PPR machines, really.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's what we want in fantasy. Like, he might be a better fantasy running
than
back
an NFL.
than an NFL running back.
I agree with that. And I'll tell you, man, he's going to be a nightmare if he goes to the right team. Like, if he does go, like, to the Chiefs with Andy Reid, they will scheme him up. I mean, they'll take advantage of his athleticism.
Yeah.
The guy is, I mean, like, I'm like you. The game against USC is what did it for me. I mean, I was watching a lot of film on him, was really enjoying what I was seeing. And when I turned that on, I'm like, wow. You know, I mean, they were no joke last year. I mean, they were on the rise. And, you know, he played, like you said, basically carried the team on his back.
I think another really good sneaky spot would be Miami.
Yeah.
So they got Hill and Waddle running, and the defender's going back, and he's so fast and shifty. Like,
Yeah, that'd be really good.
And really solid in the passing game.
yeah, and also,
I have him right now number 5 on my list, but it's real close. Like, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of good running backs in this class. And I'm telling you, if you have a lot of third-round picks, that's what I'd utilize it on.
yeah,
Because you're probably going to get lucky and hit on somebody. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that are really close from like the second to the third round.
I think before long, the hype's already starting to come up on Twitter. I'm starting to see him a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
I saw a mock draft in the one quarterback. He's 109.
I was going to say, I think he's already probably in the back end of the first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that a super flex league, do you know?
One quarterback.
One quarterback.
Yeah. I was looking at a big board. And
I can even see him end up being a first-round pick in a super flex league by the end of it.
Oh, yeah, especially on the landing spot if he gets a good landing spot.
Yeah.
Especially if he goes to the combine and blows it up and he runs what he's capable of running.
Yep. The only thing I'll say, like I said, the injuries do concern me a little bit. I mean, he came back and showed that he's still a beast, but just that's something that's a little concerning.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I mean, hey, it's just like anything else. Like you said, it's a little bit of damaged goods, and it's a little something to keep in the back of your mind. And we don't want to overdraft someone like that. But at the same time, man, the talent, and it will be fun to see what he does at the combine and where he ends up. But definitely a top 5, I would say, for all of us in this class.
Yeah.
This guy's a monster, and I'll tell you, playing for Tulane, he carried that team.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, just a good, dedicated guy. Seems like a good dude. Wish they had to give him more carries at the Senior Bowl.
I know.
1 carry for 2 yards or something like that. I thought that.
I'm just glad he didn't get hurt like Roschon or something. That would have just killed him.
Yep, it definitely would have. But them are some people to watch, and we're going to go over to me now to the next one. This is another guy I really like, man. I mean, Zach Charbonnet, running back, UCLA Bruins, 6'1", 220 pounds. I mean, this guy is an absolute monster. He is hard to bring down. He's a very, very tough runner. Got really good feet for a big man.
Yeah.
You know, like he can move pretty good. I mean, like he's not going to run away from you too often. He don't got a great long speed. I think he's going to be like a 4.6 guy at the combine. But, hey, man, that's not how he wins.
No.
You know, he loves to just blast you, go up in there in between the tackles, and I mean, solid pass catcher too for a big man. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got to give him props there. I seen a lot of stuff I really liked with Zach Charbonnet there. Really good nose for the end zone too. I mean, he just, found the end zone multiple times in some of these games. I mean, hat trick touchdowns a couple times. Just, 14 touchdowns last season. We were talking about Abanikanda having 20. That was unreal. 14. And I'll tell you this, man, a lot of these games come against good opponents. Utah, ranked 11th, 22 attempts, 198 yards and a touchdown. Oregon, 20 attempts, 151 yards and a touchdown. Then you went up against USC, 19 attempts for 95 yards. And then you go up against Washington, who usually always has good teams, 22 attempts, 124 yards and a touchdown. This guy's captain consistent. I like him a lot. I think this is a guy that, is probably going to be a third-round pick. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It just seems like the kind of runner the NFL likes. He offers you a decent amount in the passing game. I mean, just a hard-nosed player. In pass protection, he's a willing participant. He's someone that's not afraid to at least stick his nose in there.
Yeah.
And, he just plays the game hard. And I think that he's just a good all-around football player. And the league loves guys like that. And, I would love to have him on my team. I would take him at the end of the first, early second. I really like him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Charbonnet?
Yeah, I really like him, too. I got him ranked 5th out of 16, so.
Yeah.
Really up there. I agree with you, man. I love his hands. I gave his hands a 9.5 out of 10, so that's the best hands in the class.
Big man that can catch.
I did see that they knocked him on his small route tree, though. Like, he was just a dump off,
right?
Like screen.
But the way I look at it, how many running backs in the
Right,
NFL actually?
They don't do anything other than wheel routes.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's the reason why I made a new broken tackle stat online. I gave him a 9.5.
He's a battering ram.
Dude just freaking bulldozes people all the time. Super fun to watch. I heard rumors that he runs a 4.4. There ain't no damn way in hell that man runs a 4.4. And if he does,
he's going to be a high pick.
Yeah, look out, Bijan. He'll be right on your ass.
Yeah, because, he does everything else so well.
Yeah, and the footwork, the lateral movement. The projected draft capital, he's probably, let's be honest, he's probably, the third back taken?
Yeah.
I love Eric Gray, but Eric Gray is not going ahead of him. The facts are just facts. And he's 220, 22 years old, so he's not for a senior, 22 years old. I think Najee came out at 24?
I think it was 22.
22?
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
I thought it was 24.
I'm pretty sure it was. I think that's right around the range 22, 23.
Yeah, which still isn't horrible because you're trying to win with these guys in a couple years anyways.
Exactly. I think that's a little blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it is. I think he fits a lot of systems. A place I have him, I would love to see him go to the Chargers. What if he took over for Eckler within the next year or so?
I saw him walk to the Lions.
Oh. Well, Dan Campbell will take 5 running backs. So he don't care. He might take 5 this draft.
Yeah, that's right up his alley. I have him comped to Lendell White. Does everybody remember Lendell White? He was actually a beast in college.
Yeah,
so.
he was.
Who the hell did we take that draft? The Steelers. I remember we were all pissed off.
I can't even remember. It was so long ago. I know. I wanted him too because it seemed like he fit our system.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, man, I love Zach Charbonnet. I'm like you. If he comes out and he runs a 4.4, this guy, you have to take him in the first round. You have to.
I kind of docked him on his burst. I didn't really see any burst, but he's such a big dude.
Right.
Once he gets rolling, he gets rolling. Another thing I kind of docked him on was his contact bounce, but I think it's because he broke so many tackles. There's no con. This just bam, okay, and just keep trucking.
He's such a great athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a big man, that's what I said. He can move his feet really well.
He's nimble, man, real nimble.
Yeah, and he has a nose for the end zone, and it'll be interesting to see at the combine what he ends up running. If he breaks that, he's gonna be picked high.
Yeah. How'd you feel, Ty? You kind of like him?
Yeah, I really like him. You guys pretty much hit everything on the head that I've seen in him too. He's.
Would you take him in the first?
If I had to pick, yeah, but I never have first picks.
Where's a spot that you guys would like to see him? Is there any specific spot? I think he could go to a lot of spots and be successful.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. One off top of my head, maybe like Washington, Carolina. Yeah. I'd like to see him go somewhere where you always want to see these high-powered situations. But, I mean, you even look like what Damian Pierce did last year.
Yeah.
If you can go somewhere where you can get, like, a lot of volume.
Yeah.
And then, and like look what it did for Algier,
Yeah.
I mean, that really helped him. So
I would like to see him go to somewhere where they dump the ball off a little bit, too. Like, because I was thinking, what if he goes to Chicago? Like, that's real shitty because Justin Fields is going to be running.
And again, Miami could be a perfect landing spot.
Yeah, that could be another really good landing spot.
With them receivers. So, Zach Charbonnet, we all like him. I have him number 4. You said you have him number 5. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure in all of ours, when everyone finishes their ranks, they'll be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of this is going to change during the draft and stuff because, like I said, I have Eric Gray at number 4.
Right.
But realistically, Eric Gray is probably like I'm going to be happy if he's a 3rd-round pick.
And you got to keep it in perspective, too. Like, you can get Eric Gray probably in the 2nd round, and then that's when you can steal a player.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, boy, if you could steal him in the 2nd, that would be great. You know?
Yeah.
And Charbonnet's just like, what you want to do in the 1st round is avoid some of these landmines, like Sean Tucker, who we don't like.
Yeah.
So that's important. But we're going to go over to Ty here. Ty, it's another one of these guys we all like. I know I really like him. I actually see what you think. Zach Evans, running back, Ole Miss Rebels, 6 foot, 215 pounds. Tell us what you seen.
Yeah, my pros on Zach Evans is he's been efficient over his past 3 years at the collegiate level, and he really hasn't, just like last guy there, he hasn't had too much tread on the tires, and I like that a lot. And he was actually asked to carry the load at times, and he did look capable. He has the type of strong builds that teams look for in a bell cow, in my opinion. He has good burst and speed, has the ability to hit the home run when he finds the lane. He can outrace defenders to the corner on outside rushes at will. Has good vision to recognize cutback lanes, but is generally a no-nonsense runner who executes the play as drawn up. And can spin off contact and run through arm tackles. And then lastly, for the pros, shows a violent stiff arm when he gets to the edge, and he does a good job falling forward at the end of the runs. His cons is he's never established himself as a featured back in either program. He was actually TCU's most highly ranked recruit ever.
Yeah.
Doesn't barrel through tacklers until he gets to the 2nd level or break a ton of tackles overall. He's faster and smoother than he is elusive, tends to run by opponents rather than make the miss in the hole. He's fumbled 5 times last season on barely 300 career rushes, so that's something to definitely look at. His usage as a receiver was limited throughout his career. He only exceeded 10 catches in a season this past year, which I really don't like because I love guys that can catch the football, and was very rarely retained in pass protection and didn't grade out well in that facet of the game. So overall, he's a solidly built, smooth accelerator with home run speed. He has the look of a real weapon on the outside rushing attempts, but passing down usage was limited in school and was never able to lock down a feature back role at the collegiate level, which might give some teams pause when considering relative to some of the workhorses in the class. And however, should be a safe bet to be a big play threat as part of a running back committee and could potentially lock down a number 1 role. And in fantasy, I think he could probably be a mid-2nd round pick.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You pretty much hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, I at first when I started watching the tape, Zach Evans I did pretty early. And I thought, because I didn't realize some of these guys in this class, like how much they'd impress me.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, this guy's pretty solid, but he actually ends up 7 on my list
He's
right
7 for me as well.
Yeah, so, he's come down a few pegs, but I still like him. I'm like you, though. I think you hit it on the head. About middle of the 2nd round, I'd be willing to take a chance on him. It's interesting to see if he gets the capable. I don't know, man. He's either going to be a late 3rd or like an early to mid 4th to me, like in the NFL draft.
He's got a lot of off-field concerns, too.
That's it. That's another thing, like red flags.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't know.
I guess he's got character problems, and he was benched at one point.
Yeah, he was at TCU, like you were saying, then Kendre Miller came in.
Yep.
So.
And we really like Keandre Miller.
And another bad thing, too, I don't want to say a bad thing, but they have that Judkins. He's a really good back at Ole Miss, too. So I think he's coming out next year. I can't think of his first name. It's like Keyshawn.
Yeah, Quishon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Judkins.
Yeah, he was benched because I couldn't find what his off-field thing, like what he did, but he was benched for him due to an off-field
incident.
Yeah.
I thought he was a real fast and violent runner. There's a play against A&M where it looked like he was going out of bounds and he trucked 2 defenders and kept going. Oh, I love that. I mean, right there, that's where he moved to 7, right there. I thought in limited opportunities his hands were pretty decent, but like you said, there wasn't a ton of it. I love his size. He breaks tackles pretty well. I'm like you guys. Let's see what happens on draft day, but I think some team's going to see the upside, and I mean, maybe he goes to, somewhere where they think that they can, his character issues will be okay.
Like a winning organization, like the Patriots or something.
Yeah.
They handle guys like that.
Right. So, I don't know. I really like him. I think his upside could be like top 5 in the class.
Yeah.
If he hits it. His vision, it ranked a 6.5 for me. I thought his vision, like sometimes I'm just like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And other times he hits a hole, I'm like, damn. If he puts it all together, man, I have him comped to Larry Johnson.
Yeah,
Larry Johnson was super solid for a couple years and just kind of flamed out.
Did
Larry Johnson have off the field issues too? I didn't even know this. So.
Yeah, he did.
So,
I remember Penn State ex-running back Larry Johnson.
Oh, he's a beast at Penn State.
He was, man. He played well for Kansas City early in his career. It kind of flamed out a little early on him. But I will tell you this, man. Zach Evans is like, this is the way I kind of compare it. And I think that's when Ty said mid-second. Like, I like that because this is how I look at it. You got Zach Charbonnet here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm comparing the same style runners. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like in that bowl you over type back, he's the best out of the group. Mm-hmm. Then you have Zach Evans, who's kind of in the middle. Then you got like your Chris Rodriguez's and people like that.
Yeah.
They're down below, so he does, like you said, he's frustrating. He can do things where it's like, wow, that was really good. And then it's like, what are you doing?
I even have on here, I think he has one of the highest upsides in the class, but also one of the lowest floors in the class.
That's a good way to put it.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it. I mean, so it'll be interesting to see where he gets the capital. I honestly don't think he'll be in the 3rd. I think he'll be a 4th-round guy.
I'm seeing him mocked in real drafts to the Bears a lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of them.
And, he would probably compliment Herbert pretty well.
Yeah.
Because there's no way Chicago's re-signing David Montgomery. That would be the dumbest thing ever. Like, they are in total rebuild right now. There's no sense of wasting cap room on a running back.
And him and Herbert are kind of the same player, I feel like. Like, Herbert's kind of a nose, punch in the face, like.
Yeah, kind of got a little attitude to him.
Yeah. That's what I feel like.
I like that. We're going to go over here to Muss, and it's going to be someone that me and Andy we can't believe this, but we're going to go over to him. We're going to let him review what he's seen. It's going to be Tank Bigsby, running back, Auburn Tigers, 6 foot, 213 pounds. Muss, hop aboard the Tank. What do you have for us?
I actually didn't think he was half bad. I think he played behind a poor O-line. Like it didn't seem like they protected for him very good, but he seemed to have creativity of missing, making him miss tackles and stuff. And I thought for his name, I thought he was a powerful runner. Good contact balance and stuff. He doesn't have any long speed. Like, he's not going to beat anybody. He's not going to, I don't think, have the 75-yard touchdowns or anything like that. His pass catching wasn't the best, and for being big, his pass blocking wasn't the best either. I didn't think. But I mean, I think overall, I think he's probably back end 1st-round pick in fantasy drafts. Probably a 3rd-round pick in the NFL draft. Yeah,
it's all in what you see, man. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know. I expected more. I really did. I had really high expectations after hearing about him all last season coming into this year because there was just so many names you heard. He was one on the list, and I don't know, man. For a big man, he just did not break enough tackles to me. He didn't seem like he was that dominant, that he was that kind of guy that, like, I don't know, some guys run angry. He didn't run angry to me, Went down fairly easy at times. I don't know. Not the best hands either. I agree with you. I don't think Auburn's offensive line was anything special. I don't think Auburn had that special of a team at overall. But, I mean, and maybe that'll hinder him. I think he's just someone that needs good coaching. He needs to go somewhere like where he can be coached, and maybe that'll help him. He's still a little raw to me.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan. Like, I could see him falling out of the first 3 rounds. I could. And I don't know. I'll turn this over to you because I know you kind of feel the same way I do.
Yeah, I thought he had the one thing that he did well on. I thought he had really good vision. Did you see that too?
Yeah.
I thought he had real good vision, but other than that, did you see a lot of the stupid pitch plays they did to him?
No.
There was like a bunch of stupid pitch plays. I was like, this is dumb.
College style offense.
Yeah,
He's not really a
speed guy. So yeah, it didn't really make sense to me either. I thought he ran a little bit high at times. I didn't see the breakaway speed either. His burst was good at times, and other times it just seemed like it sucked. So
right.
Was he frustrated at the bad O-line? We don't know what's going on in his head or, anything like that. I felt like a lot of times 2 to 3 yards.
That's what I see.
0 yards.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah. So I was really disappointed in that. Felt like he was just kind of average and just a replaceable guy.
Right.
Now that you kind of like him, I'll go back. Like I said, because I trust your guys' opinions. I'll go back. I'll watch him again and, see if that's really how I feel. I just could see him, like TJ said, kind of maybe not getting the capital. I feel like everybody sees the word tank and they're like,
It's so cool.
It sounds cool.
It's a cool running back name.
There's a receiver that we'll be talking on here, Nathaniel Dell. They call him Tank Dell. And, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, can you call me Tank Blake? Like, are we gonna get more? We're gonna get more. Can I get a subscriber? But anyways, I could see this being the perfect spot for him going to the Chargers and Chiefs, and everybody blowing their load.
Yeah.
And then here he goes. Ahead of some of these other guys we really like.
You know who he reminds me a lot of, and I said this, Isaiah Spiller last year.
Yeah, I have him comped to Kenyon Drake.
Yep, same style run.
Kenyon Drake, he shows glimpses at times, and then he's the guy, don't go away. Like, he's in Baltimore and scores, and then, like, he's cut.
Yeah, he's on another roster.
He's just kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Which, Kenyon Drake's not a bad thing, but, it's not necessarily a good thing either.
Yeah, and it's just like, you see some of these guys, man, like Charbonnet, like we just talked about him. Incredible athlete, big man. Keandre Miller, big man, can run fast.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, the offensive line was bad, but there wasn't one thing that just stuck out to me. And I hate when that happens. And I'm like you, I'm going to go back and watch because I always do anyhow. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just underwhelmed. And you always got to try to watch for these landmines because you don't want to miss in the first round, especially when there's this many quality running backs that you might be able to get in the second to third rounds.
Or you could take a receiver that you might like. Or, yeah.
So it's one of them things you just got to be careful. You got to be wary of. And hey, the tape don't lie, the stats don't lie. Like I said, I give Abanikanda a little bit of a bump just because the stats are there. I mean, like I said, the offensive line was good, but I mean, he took advantage of it and he put up the numbers. So, I mean, it's just crazy.
We had a little bit more disagreement with these guys, which is never a bad thing.
No.
Right. Right.
It's definitely not. What else I was going to say? Did we touch on Keaton Mitchell?
No, I'll let you take him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which, I mean, there's not really much to say.
I was just saying, there's not.
I mean, and there's other guys we could have talked about. There's a guy, McBride, I think, that we didn't put in. I've heard a little bit of rumblings about him. I threw in Keaton Mitchell, and he's just Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
He tried to bounce everything to the outside. Did you notice that?
I think he's like Deuce. Like, I think he's going to be like that Darren Sproles. Like, if he can go to the right spot.
Yeah.
But
I don't even have him comped to anybody. Does he even get drafted?
Well, he's going to be like the Wish version of
Right.
of Darren Sproles.
I just seen everything. He bounced to the outside, I seen him drop, a couple balls, so I don't even see him necessarily being a great third down back. He's fun to watch in college. Like, he's a guy that if he were to play for, like, we were talking about, like, IUP, it'd be like, oh, wow, like, Keaton Mitchell, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But whenever you put him in the NFL, like, he's just a better college player. So, hey, hats off to him. Hopefully he does get drafted. I'm looking at a couple stats here. Cincinnati, he did have 16 attempts for 112 yards because if the dude does get to the outside, like, he's dangerous, but you can't bounce everything to the outside, like,
Yeah, you got to bounce it up in there sometimes and grind out those tough yards. That's what a running back does.
Yeah, yep.
When you need it the most, man, that's what it takes. But yeah, he's just an average guy. You cheer for him, though. You hope he makes it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
When the combine comes around, there'll be a lot of things to go over with these guys, how they did. I mean, they might really help their draft stock, some of them. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting. But that's going to wrap it up for the rookie running back film evaluation part 2. So we're done with the running backs. I know we were going to do a Senior Bowl show, like we said, but it was so underwhelming we don't even want to go there because there's really not much to talk about.
No.
And I think, are we going to jump into the quarterbacks next week?
What do you guys want to do? You want to do like quarterbacks, or you want to do like a part? I don't know if we'll have 2 parts of receivers. It's up to you guys. We can do either or.
We'll do receivers. We'll do next week. We'll do part 1.
We'll see how many we want to rank. Like we might do 2 or we might do 1. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Part 1, rookie receivers, because we got to churn through these because we got free agency coming up in the middle of March.
And then we'll do another evaluation. Like I have my first scouting report, and then like after they're drafted and they do the combine and the draft capital, then we'll kind of see who really matters and who,
Yeah, we'll go through it and see who the best picks are and see where they're at.
These are for some of the leagues. Like, boy, we did a rookie draft. What was it? I can't remember what league it was. You might have been in it, Muss, and Malik Willis went number 2 overall before the draft.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So, not that I would have done that, but he did. And,
Yep.
It is kind of interesting to do a rookie draft before the NFL draft.
You find value. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You can hit some landmines, or you can find some gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But next week we'll do the rookie receiver evaluation part 1. That'll be a lot of fun. Go over them guys. A couple things to mention here before we hop off. Of course, we got the mini helmet. Gonna be coming soon.
Yeah, what are we going to do with that? Like YouTube subscribers? Or?
Well, we're going to – I opened it up to YouTube subscribers or on the podcasting platforms.
Okay.
I mean, if you send it to us over on Twitter that you're a subscriber to Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, Google, any of them.
Okay.
You send that over when we post it on our Twitter. You can be entered to win this mini helmet, and we should have it next week.
Okay.
And we're going to display it on camera. And, YouTube, any of it, if you subscribe, you'll be entered in. And I think we're going to try to do a live draft for the NFL, a live show for the NFL draft.
Okay.
So for the first night for the first round.
We'll have to see with our work schedules. Now they're on the opposite shifts again.
Yeah, hopefully I'm back.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if we can do that. At least some of us will be live, and we're going to do the giveaway that night of the NFL draft for the first night for the first round. So that'll be a lot of fun. So join in with us for that. Try to have a chance to win. It'll be a blast.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at DynastyDNA_. Check us out on Apple Pod, Stitcher, Apple Pod, all the Spotify, all the big ones. We're on all of them. So check us out over there. 5 stars, downloads, follows. It all helps. You guys are the best. We appreciate all the support. It's been phenomenal every week, man. And it just makes you happy because, like I said, we love talking Dynasty Fantasy Football with you guys, trying to help out any way we can, grow the sport, and just, try to see what you guys think of some of these guys, and go over it together. It's a blast. But check all that out. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thumbs up, comments. We like talking to you guys down below. So anything like that, we're always open to. And, next week we'll do the rookie receiver review, week 1.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Dynasty DNA.
See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.